Yes, overclocking. A misunderstood and yet widely popular concept in the computing industry. Overclocking is actually fairly easy. What I would recommend you do if you want to overclock your AMD or Intel CPU is get either AMD Ryzen Master or Intel Extreme Tuning Utility, which allows you to overclock it with a manufacturer-made software. I cannot download Intel Extreme Tuning Utility because I do not have an Intel processor, but you would just download the corresponding one if you have an AMD processor, AMD Ryzen Master. If you have an Intel processor, Extreme Tuning Utility. After you get that, you're going to run the setup. And after you run that, you're just going to wait for it to install. And after it installs, you're going to overclock. When you get in, you're going to see something like this. As you can see, my CPU clock speed is already at 4700 megahertz because I already overclocked my system in the BIOS. But for your purposes, it shouldn't say that. You're going to want to go to the control mode and click manual. Then you're going to go to CPU clock speed and bump it up one click. Then you're going to hit apply and test, and that will test it. And if it's stable, you bump it up a little bit more, apply and test. If it's not stable, it'll either, your computer might crash or it'll tell you. Then you're just going to bump up your voltage one click and see if that works. You continue doing that until you get to an instability. The next step of overclocking, once you have a stable overclock by either XTU or by AMD Ryzen Master, is to use your BIOS so that your computer is always overclocked, regardless if you open up Ryzen Master or Extreme Tuning Utility on startup or not. To do that, you have to mash delete or F2 or F4 or F7 on startup. Different motherboards have different BIOSes. And then you're going to go to advanced mode and navigate to AI tweaker. And then at CPU core ratio, you're going to want to change it. If you have a Ryzen 5 5600G, for example, your CPU core ratio is going to say 42.00. You're going to punch in whatever your overclock is. So for example, if you overclocked to 4300 megahertz, you're going to put in 43.00. Or, because I'm overclocking to 4700 megahertz, I'm going to put 47.00. Also a tech tip, by the way, go into DOCP and make sure it's enabled to the highest preset possible. Make sure you check that your resizable bar is also enabled at the top. Just make sure it says on, because that will allow you to use smart access memory, which will give you small but definitely there performance improvements with graphical rendering and such. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. If the video was helpful, feel free to leave a like. As you know, I read all my comments. Please make sure to stay tuned, as I'm going to be posting more videos more often now. It's been Advanced Gaming. Good day.